My husband adored me. Because I had a late-term abortion, he was worried about my health and had refrained from touching me for over a year. On's day, I planned to surprise him, but I accidentally saw the contents of his cell phone. Humph. It's Valentine's Day and you're not with me. I'm mad. What's so great about that old woman? Don't you dare touch her. In an instant, my mind was utterly shocked. As if struck by lightning, I could check Marcus's cell phone anytime, but I had never seen this WhatsApp account. BZZ. His cell phone vibrated subtly. Another message came through. Come over tonight, and I'll wear that bunny outfit for you. Okay? It was followed by a cheeky emoji. My breath caught in my throat. My heart felt like it was seized by a giant hand, and my whole body plummeted into an endless ice cavern. With trembling hands, I picked up my cell phone and took a picture of this WhatsApp account. Just then, from the bathroom, I heard the doorknob turn. Click. Marcus was standing behind me. I don't know when he got there. Luna, what are you looking at? Marcus was wrapped in a towel, his fringe damp. I had already put his cell phone back as it was. I knew he would never admit to this flimsy evidence. Eleanor called again today, urging us to have a baby. My eyes welled up with tears. They were tears of resentment and hurt. I couldn't believe the man before me would betray our love. Silly girl. Don't take Eleanor's words too seriously. As long as we're good, whether we have children or not doesn't matter. He smiled dotingly and gently wiped away my tears with his finger. Do you still love me? I asked. Yes, I do. Marcus will only ever love Luna in this lifetime. He spoke with utmost sincerity. If I hadn't seen those messages, I would have been moved by him once again. You haven't touched me in over a year. Is there still love? I gave a bitter laugh, not exposing his lie. Marcus paused. Luna, I'm worried about your body. I've held back every time, after your last abortion. The doctor said it's best not to have children for 3 years. Nothing is more important than your health. He truly was a master of manipulation. Before, when he said things like that, I would marvel at having found such a wonderful husband. Now, I understood. Men always prefer novelty and youth. Marcus was no exception. As long as we use protection, we won't have children even if we do. At my words, Marcus's body tensed. I knew he really didn't want to. His body language didn't lie. Silly girl. I don't want there to be a barrier when we're intimate. Let's listen to the doctor and wait 2 more years. We'll definitely have a healthy, beautiful baby then. His large, distinctly jointed hand stroked my hair. Suddenly, I felt disgusted. Who knew how many times that dirty hand had touched the other woman? I brushed his hand away and calmly said, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. All right. Does my madam need me to tell her a bedtime story? He chuckled, teasing me. No, thank you. I turned away. Then I'll go work overtime in my study. Good night, wife. No sooner had he spoken than his cell phone rang. He frowned, glanced at his cell phone, and hung up. But the person called again. It's a persistent insurance salesperson, sticky as glue. Marcus explained helplessly. Block her. I said. Just ignore them. Go to sleep, wife. Marcus tucked me in and turned to leave the bedroom. In the darkness, I turned on my cell phone. Marcus's new WhatsApp account name was, oh no, I'm falling in love. The girl's name was, Hee. I'm loved. Couples nicknames. I quickly applied for a new WhatsApp account, searched her social media profile by nickname, and entered her videos. The latest video was in a restaurant. The girl was young and beautiful, her small hands fair and delicate. Another hand, with long, slender fingers, joined hers to form a heart shape. The caption read, he said he'd spoil me for life. So sweet. If I hadn't recognized my husband's hand, I would definitely have liked it and commented, what a perfect couple, a match made in heaven. Marcus had a faint scar on his index finger. At that time, we lived in a rental apartment, and I had a cold and a fever. Marcus clumsily made me herbal tea, accidentally cutting his index finger while slicing ginger. I remembered him bringing the steaming herbal tea to me, saying with concern, Luna, you need to get well quickly. I just made a heartfelt wish that all your pain will transfer to me. I laughed, calling him silly. I thought this man loved me very, very much. Turns out, he could love someone else just as deeply. This man, who had once loved me devotedly, had also devotedly fallen for another woman. I suppressed my grief, scrolling down involuntarily. The girl loved to share, going to the beach with her boyfriend, to amusement parks, climbing snowy mountains, shopping, dining. Everything was documented. But there wasn't a single clear frontal photo of Marcus, only blurry shots of his back. But even if Marcus were burned to ashes, I would recognize him. 8 years together, and all my devotion had been for naught. In the middle of the night, a drizzling rain began to fall outside the window. Outside, I heard Marcus's cautious footsteps, and the sound of the front door opening and closing. I put on my pajamas and hailed a taxi downstairs. Driver, follow that car up ahead. Brenda, the taxi driver, was a straight talker. Well, this is my 5th time catching them in the act this year. She expertly pressed the accelerator, trailing right behind Marcus's car. Men are no good. Don't go soft, sweetie. Get the evidence first. Then make him leave with nothing. My cousin was foolish. She couldn't bear to leave her child, so she didn't divorce, thinking of giving her man another chance. But that scumbag sweet-talked the evidence out of her, then secretly transferred his assets, leaving my cousin with a pile of debt. The driver, a woman around 40, rattled on. I paid her no mind, my heart pounding. What should I do when I actually saw those two? Should I confront her and tear her apart, or curse them out? My heart felt like it was going to leap out of my chest, thumping wildly in my throat. Half an hour later, Marcus's car stopped in front of a new apartment building. Soon, the girl's slender figure dashed out of the apartment. Her long hair streamed behind her as she ran, radiating a vibrant youthful energy. When saw the girl's figure, he stepped out of his car with long strides, holding a black umbrella. The petite figure threw herself into the man's arms. She wrapped her hands around his waist, stood on tiptoes, and kissed his thin lips. The scene looked just like a TV drama where the main characters, reunited after a long separation, were desperate to embrace each other. With trembling hands, I took out my cell phone and photographed this intimate moment. Soon after, Marcus put his arm around the girl and they climbed into the back seat of the car. The rain grew heavier. Large raindrops pelted the car. The pitter-patter of the rain drowned out all other sounds. The dark car, with its hazard lights flashing, rocked in the heavy rain. Brenda, the taxi driver, cursed furiously. Those shameless cheats. Don't be afraid, sweetie. If you want to vent, I'll be right there with you. Today, we're going to confront that shameless hussy. Sitting in the taxi, my mind went blank. My heart was twisting in agony, as if countless knives were stirring inside me, each beat a tearing pain. I wanted to pull Marcus out, but my legs felt weighted down with sandbags. I couldn't move a step. Tears blurred my vision without me realizing it. I had guessed this scene would unfold. This must have happened many times already, but seeing it with my own eyes, my heart ached so deeply. A soul-wrenching pain. My heart felt like it had been gouged out, slowly tortured with each cut, bleeding profusely. The pain left me breathless. I weakly uttered one word, "Go, sweetie. Don't let them off easy. Get the evidence." Brenda, the taxi driver, slammed the steering wheel in anger. I bought the dashcam in the car. I stared at the car ahead, my voice hoarse. As the taxi passed Marcus's car, Brenda honked the horn furiously, but it did nothing to stop the rhythmic rocking of the car. The driver counseled me as she drove. Men aren't exactly a rare commodity. We can find them anytime, anywhere. Have you watched a show about empowered women? Like The Wife? She dated several men, each one more handsome than the last. Forget about being polite. If something's wrong, just go crazy. It's better to make things difficult for others than to suffer yourself. As women, as long as we focus on making money, we can find a handsome young man, even when we're 80, the driver advised me all the way home, where I returned in a daze, curled up on the sofa. I immediately turned on the dashcam. While the footage was loading, a seductive voice emerged from it. "Babe, take it easy." The loading finished. Marcus was drenched in sweat. "I want to go hard, to satisfy my little minx. You called me over in the middle of the night." "Ha, don't call me tomorrow." The girl's voice was full of grievance. "Whose fault is it that I like you so much?" "It's my own fault for being so presumptuous. I especially miss you on rainy days with that." The girl started to cry sadly. Marcus kissed away her tears, gently coaxing. "Shoo, I'll be with you all day today, okay? Don't cry." Expressionless, I started recording my cell phone screen. My throat felt clutched by a large hand. I bit my lip hard, but couldn't stop my sobs. Tears streamed down my face against my will. I burst into loud sobs, crying until my eyes were swollen and my tears ran dry. I don't know how long passed until my cell phone automatically ran out of battery and shut off. On the coffee table was a note he had left for me. Urgent matters at company headquarters require my attention. Rest well at home. Tomorrow, I'll give you a little surprise. Your loving husband. He'd even drawn a heart where he signed off. Marcus. Marcus. He still remembered tomorrow's date. Tomorrow was our wedding anniversary, a date he had specially chosen, the day after Valentine's Day. The word mistress was what Marcus hated most. His father had abandoned him and his mother for a mistress when he was in elementary school. Because of this, he had endured sneers and ridicule from relatives and neighbors. Until he met me. He said I was like a little sun shining into his dark life, bringing light into it. We dated for 3 years and had been married for 5. Marcus had said more than once, I will never betray you. I will never have a mistress. Marcus will love only Luna in this lifetime, until death do us part. How tragic and ridiculous. I tore the note into tiny pieces, which drifted down across the living room. The man I had loved so devotedly was finally dead in my heart. A little past 5 in the morning, Marcus returned, sporting 2 dark circles under his eyes, carrying a large bouquet of roses. As soon as he was back, he went straight into the kitchen. Soon after, Marcus, wearing an apron, came into the bedroom carrying my favorite heart-shaped pancakes, savory sausage links, a rich breakfast stew, and crispy hash browns. My dear wife, wake up quickly. Today is our wedding anniversary. I'm taking you somewhere nice soon. He gently called me. Marcus's voice was pleasant. In my hazy state, I thought I was dreaming. Everything from yesterday felt so unreal. I wished it was all just a nightmare. I sighed and slowly got up. He busied himself arranging breakfast on the small breakfast table and squeezed toothpaste onto my brush. For 8 years, this scene had played out in our home every day. He was tall and handsome, 6 feet 1 inch, rich and good-looking, the kind of man many women flocked to, eager to latch onto. Relatives and friends all praised him as a wonderful husband, capable, devoted, and a real catch. But only I knew that 8 years ago, Marcus was a poor boy despised by everyone. He wore faded jeans and was mocked and cursed by the villagers, because his father had swindled many relatives and neighbors, then ran off with his mistress. The villagers took out their anger on Marcus. I stayed with him as he built his business from scratch, from a tiny 10-square-meter office to a large enterprise that now owned an entire building. He not only repaid the money his father had borrowed from relatives and neighbors, but he also drove a Maybach and bought a villa. Behind every successful man is a strong woman, and he will reward her handsomely, was a phrase he often repeated. As the company headquarters grew, he never changed towards me. He was still the same Marcus, always attentive and romantic, except for what happened yesterday. That was something I never could have imagined in my wildest dreams. When I came out of the washroom, Marcus happened to look up at me. He had alluring eyes, full of deep affection even when he looked at a dog. Suddenly, he furrowed his brow and asked anxiously, Luna, have you been crying? Why are your eyes swollen like walnuts? As he spoke, he took a peeled egg and began to roll it under my eyelid. I turned to avoid him. I asked calmly, didn't you sleep all night? No. The company headquarters needed something too urgently. I didn't stop all night. Marcus said this while rubbing his temples with his hand. His usually fresh, handsome face now looked utterly exhausted. Who made you cry again? Did Call asking for money again? How much does she want this time? I'll give it to her. He knew that every time my mother called asking for money, I would argue with her and end up in tears. Hurry and eat breakfast. I'm all yours today. All mine? I scoffed. Are you still my husband? What silly talk. I am your only legal husband, Luna. We swore to be together for life. I slowly looked up into his eyes. His gaze was sincere and deep, showing no hint of pretense. He was still the young man whose eyes were filled only with me. Tears flowed uncontrollably again. He pulled me into his embrace, apologizing tenderly. I'm sorry, wife. Company headquarters has been too busy lately. From now on, I'll make time for you. Haven't you always wanted to go to the beach? We'll go today. My mind was a mess. Should I confront him now? And after the confrontation? Divorce? Or forgive him? We had an 8-year foundation of love, having supported each other through thick and thin. Marcus had just been led astray for a moment. I was still in his heart. Even though he had another woman outside, he still took meticulous care of me when he came home. He was willing to spend money on me, and even my parents' home benefited from it. I tried to convince myself to just make do, but why did my heart ache so much? It felt like I had felt utterly disgusted, unable to spit it out or swallow it. No, I wouldn't forgive him. I had to be strong and reclaim everything that belonged to me. On the way to the beach, Marcus mysteriously pulled out a pink diamond necklace. Wife, I bought this in France last time. Didn't you say you really liked this celebrity-style necklace? I had seen it once while scrolling through my TikTok feed and simply remarked, that necklace is really pretty. He had remembered it. I turned my head towards the car window, looking at the receding scenery, feeling no joy at all. Without knowing why, I added the girl's WhatsApp. She accepted immediately. Heh, so you're not as stupid as I thought? Marcus hid it so well. Yet you still found out. Since you already know, just do the sensible thing and divorce him. The girl was arrogant and domineering. She had known about my existence all along, yet still chose to be with Marcus. You knew he was married. So why did you still do this? I glanced at Marcus, who was driving. He was in a good mood, even humming a song. Hatred surged through me like a tide. I clenched my fists, my nails digging hard into my palms. Because he loves me. Love doesn't have a first come, first served rule. The one who isn't loved is the third party. I just met him a step later than you. How about we make a bet? Bet on what? I know today is your wedding anniversary. Let's bet that he'll abandon you to come find me. All right. I agreed. No sooner had the car come to a stop than Marcus's cell phone rang. He glanced at it and immediately hung up. I knew it was the girl. The cell phone rang again. I shot him a sidelong glance. Turn off your cell phone. I don't want to be disturbed on our wedding anniversary. Marcus hesitated, then said, okay, whatever my wife says. I wasn't in the mood, so after a short walk on the beach, I returned to the guest house to rest. In the evening, Marcus asked me to watch the sunset at the beach, but I refused. Citing a headache, he said, okay, you rest. I'll take some photos for you. Marcus eagerly grabbed his cell phone and went out. I knew he was impatient to go out and make a call. Half an hour later, he sent me pictures. Wife, the sunset at the beach is beautiful. Yes, it was. Just like our fading relationship. It took me a long time to reply with 2 words, very beautiful. Wife, there's an urgent matter at the branch company headquarters in the next city. I'm close by, so I'll go handle it and be back soon. I didn't reply. Not for a long time. Marcus's cell phone rang. Wife, did you see my message? What a coincidence. The branch company headquarters has something urgent. Today is our wedding anniversary. Is company headquarters more important than me? I cut him off. Of course you're more important, but over there, go, I said, closing my eyes. I had no more illusions about him. I'll be back very soon. Wife, you rest. He left. I had lost. I had actually lost long ago. Completely defeated. One should never harbor any hope for a cheating man. About an hour later, the girl sent me a series of pictures. In the photos, a delicate gift box lay open, revealing a glittering pink diamond necklace inside. Marcus's back, captured in a sneaky shot, was a bit blurry, dim, warm yellow lighting, a messy large bed. The necklace was identical to the one Marcus had given me that morning. Haha, I won. I won't let him leave all night. So what if you have the title? He hasn't touched you in ages. Has he? I saved all the pictures. First, I called Eleanor. After hanging up, I dialed 911. Hello, is this the police station? I'm filing a formal complaint. My husband is at the suite seeking escort services. The hotel's logo was printed on the bedding in that large bed photo. This drama was more captivating than any cheesy TV show. The police and Eleanor arrived one after the other. Eleanor's face was livid with rage. She never imagined that the son she had raised through so much hardship would grow up to be like the person she hated most. When the police opened the door with the hotel's master keycard, the two of them were naked, locked in an embrace. Eleanor rushed forward and slapped Marcus across the face, but the girl pushed her back, making her stumble. Old hag. No wonder Mr. Song can't get enough of me and won't leave. You're old and ugly. Who could ever touch you? Smack. Marcus slapped her with all his might. Eleanor, he cried out in alarm. The girl looked utterly shocked. She looked at Eleanor, then at Marcus, and hurriedly apologized. I'm sorry, Auntie. Eleanor's chest heaved with rage. She raised her hand and slapped her again. Don't apologize to me. You should apologize to my daughter-in-law. Marcus then finally noticed me, standing at the back of the crowd. Luna, let me explain. He disregarded everything. wrapped himself in the blanket, and strode towards me. Marcus. I'm still naked, the girl desperately cried out. Quiet. Everyone get dressed and come with me to the police station, the police officer said. There's been a public complaint about you engaging in illegal transactions. He's my boyfriend. We're in a relationship. Just normal dating, the girl hastily claimed. Pa, this is my daughter-in-law. You shameless hussy. Eleanor spat a glob of phlegm in her direction. Then, pointing her finger at Marcus's forehead, she raged, You heartless dog. How could I have given birth to a son like you? Officer, please provide a copy of the interrogation evidence to my lawyer, I said calmly. Marcus looked at me in confusion. Let's get a divorce, I said calmly. No, I won't divorce you. Never, Marcus roared. If only he had known this day would come. He might have acted differently then. 8 years ago, he had said the same thing. Luna, I would die before betraying you. I took a deep breath, collecting myself, then go ahead and die. Everyone here is a witness. You are the at-fault party. My demand is, you will leave with nothing, I said, enunciating each word. Marcus froze, his face turning ashen. He stumbled to his knees before me, his eyes bloodshot, pleading, Luna, I was wrong. I'll give you all the assets. Just forgive me this one time, please. The girl clutched his arm, crying, Marcus, you still have me. I love you. And I'm younger than her, but violently pushed her away, and she fell heavily to the ground. Get out. Marcus's gaze towards her was one of undisguised revulsion. The girl collapsed onto the ground, utterly distraught, and sobbed uncontrollably. Divorce. I left those 2 words behind, then turned decisively and walked away. I instructed my lawyer to deliver the divorce papers to him. My heart was troubled, so I went traveling to clear my head. Marcus called me many times. After I blocked him, he switched SIM cards and called again. Talked to my lawyer about anything. I didn't want to say a single word to him. Our mutual friend said he hadn't been to company headquarters in a long time, and was drinking heavily every day. I just smiled and said nothing. It had nothing to do with me anymore. I would no longer stay up all night worrying when I heard him drinking, cooking him hangover soup and spoon-feeding it to him. Nor would I set an alarm to wake up in the middle of the night to give him water. Whether his life went well or poorly, it no longer concerned me. But since he wouldn't agree to a divorce, we had to go through legal procedures, which would be quite troublesome. After traveling for half a month, I suddenly received a call from Sarah. Where have you been? Your dad collapsed from a cerebral hemorrhage, and his condition is very bad. We tried calling everywhere but couldn't find you. When I rushed to the hospital, Marcus was there. He had lost a lot of weight, and his face was unshaven. Gone was his former dashing handsomeness. Luna, you're back. I've brought in an expert from Chicago for Dad. Don't worry, Dad will definitely recover. My dad had been honest and straightforward his entire life. A farmer who spent his life toiling on the land. He had never seen much of the world. He often said, studying is the only way out for us poor folks. You and Ethan study hard, and Dad will do whatever it takes to support you. Wynne saw me. Tears streamed down her face again. You stubborn girl. Where on earth have you been? Your dad was just holding on to see you one last time. Dad, wearing an oxygen mask, slowly opened his eyes when he heard I was there. His calloused hand weakly lifted. Luna, live your life well. Your dad will pass away sooner or later. Don't be sad for me. Dad was breathless, gasping several times just to say that one sentence. Dad, I will take good care of Luna. Please focus on your recovery. Marcus half-squatted by my dad's hospital bed, gently taking my hand. His warm palm enveloped my fingertips, but in an instant, I sharply pulled my hand away from his grasp. I'm dragging you all down. Don't bother with treatment. Dad waved his hand dismissively. I clasped Dad's large hand, weeping uncontrollably. Marcus handled all the arrangements for Dad's funeral, tirelessly running around. I had tried to send him away, but he insisted on staying. Sarah was overcome with grief, and my younger brother was still in high school and didn't understand anything. Relatives all praised. Luna's family has a wonderful son-in-law. I hear he owns a company headquarters. He's rich and filial. What a grand funeral he's arranged. The young man is so handsome. That girl Luna has such good fortune. Relatives and friends chatted volubly. In their eyes, I had risen to prominence because I married well. Because I was lucky. No one understood the hardships I had endured, building everything up with Marcus from the beginning. A light rain drizzled from the sky. Dad was placed in that small box, slowly lowered into the grave, and shovel by shovel, the yellow earth gradually covered the small box. I cried until my throat was hoarse. I would never again hear Dad's admonition, "Luna, study hard. When you grow up, you'll be able to make your own decisions and won't have to answer to anyone." Sarah, I want a divorce. Marcus has another woman outside. I thought about it all night. I decided to confess to Sarah the day after Dad's burial. If we're alive, he wouldn't want his daughter to live a life full of grievances. Would he? Sarah looked at me in disbelief. Despite her weakened body, she trembled as she stood up and strode towards Marcus outside the house. Marcus. Sarah called his name through gritted teeth. Smack. She put all her strength into that slap. I supported Sarah. How dare you do this to my daughter? What did she ever do to you? Sarah's lips trembled with anger. Sarah, please persuade Luna. I know I was wrong. I truly can't lose her. I don't want a divorce. He knelt before Sarah, his voice thick with tears. My younger brother chased him out of the house. Back inside, Sarah sighed. She pulled a card from under the mattress and handed it to me. There's 100,000 yuan in here. You'll need money for the lawsuit. Take it. I looked at Sarah's wrinkled face. After left us, half of her hair had turned white, as if she saw the question in my eyes. It's all your money. You always got annoyed when I called asking for money, but every time I asked, I saved it for you. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Your dad was always afraid Marcus would follow his father's example and mess around, leaving you with a pile of debt. Marcus stubbornly stayed outside my house, refusing to leave. I had no choice but to return to Maplewood with him. After getting off the high-speed train, he carefully followed behind me, pulling his suitcase. Luna, didn't you want a child? Let's try for one today. I'll love them whether it's a boy or a girl, as long as they're yours, he said coaxingly. Get away from me, I said, pushing him away in disgust. Marcus looked at me in shock. The corners of his eyes flushed. Do you hate me that much? I wish you would die right now. Marcus flinched, instantly looking as if all strength had been drained from him. He was distraught, murmuring, "Will you only forgive me if I die?" I turned and looked at him calmly. Let's get a divorce. We are absolutely over. Look out, I heard Marcus's loud shout. By the time I reacted, I saw Marcus thrown over 10 meters by a speeding car. He lay in a pool of blood, the car speeding away. He had forcefully pushed me to the side of the road. He saved my life, disregarding his own. Screaming sirens approached. Marcus was admitted to the intensive care unit. The doctors issued several critical condition notices. Eleanor and Sarah both arrived. The police locked down the city and quickly apprehended the hit-and-run driver. It was the girl. Her name was Chloe. She was a college student. Marcus had saved her when she was harassed while working part-time at a bar. From then on, she developed a deep affection for this handsome and successful man. After multiple failed confessions, she drugged Marcus's drink at company headquarters. Marcus had always thought the drug was given by a competitor. It was the girl's first time, and Marcus felt very guilty towards her. He gave her a sum of money, but she refused it. Her family favored sons over daughters, and she worked part-time while attending school. She had only one request, to be by his side. Later, she joined Marcus's company headquarters, and then, keeping me in the dark was Marcus's bottom line. She dared not cross it. She knew that if it ever came to my attention, Marcus would not hesitate to kick her out. So, she documented every moment of her love with her boyfriend in her TikTok feed. That boyfriend never formally appeared on camera. She hoped I would come across it, find clues, and initiate a divorce. After that incident of catching them in the act, Marcus fired her and blocked all her contact information. She tried every method, but Marcus avoided her completely. She blamed all her resentment on me. After woke up, he refused to eat, drink, or cooperate with treatment. Eleanor's earnest pleas were fruitless. Looking at her son, who was wasting away to nothing, she sighed deeply. She finally came to me for help. Luna, please, I beg you, don't mention divorce for now. Can you go to the hospital and stay with Marcus for a few days? After all, he saved me, so I should take care of him until he recovered and was discharged. I agreed almost without hesitation, but was still hesitant, looking troubled. And, there's one more thing. Oh, what a mess. I'm so sorry, Luna, but I can't keep it from you. Eleanor wiped away a tear. My dear, I'm so sorry. Eleanor's hand trembled slightly as she held mine. I looked at her suspiciously. Since our marriage, Eleanor had always been good to me. When we went back to her hometown for holidays, she never let me do housework. She cooked all my favorite dishes herself. Even when Marcus and I had minor disagreements, Eleanor always sided with me. Even with this big scandal, Eleanor had always stood by me. Her only fault was constantly urging us to have children. After a long pause, Eleanor spoke again. I really have no choice. Chloe is pregnant, and Marcus refuses to write a statement of leniency. You want me to write it? I looked at Eleanor before me, feeling as if I had never truly known her. Absolutely not. Sarah stepped forward and shielded me. We just want a divorce now. Your business has nothing to do with us. Go be with your heartless son. Looking at the elderly woman whose temples were already graying, I couldn't help but remind her. She's pregnant. She doesn't need a statement of leniency. The police will release her if you don't write it. Chloe says she'll abort the baby. Eleanor stamped her foot in distress. Get out. She deserves it. Sarah drove her out of the house. Marcus still refused to sign the divorce papers. I had no choice but to file a divorce lawsuit in court. The day before the court hearing, he asked to meet me. Luna, I would give my life for you. Can't we be together again? He asked with such humility. I took a sip of coffee and said calmly, that day, you and she were in the car in front of the apartment building. I saw you. I looked into his eyes. The pink diamond necklace you gave me? Chloe has an identical one. Marcus's face instantly turned ashen, his lips trembling involuntarily. You fell for her. I saw all the videos she shared. Very sweet. I gave a bitter laugh. Luna, after a long pause, Marcus closed his eyes in despair. Over the years, many women had tried to seduce him, but none succeeded. He wasn't without guard. If he hadn't given her a chance, could Chloe have succeeded? Marcus covered his eyes with both hands, sobbing like a child. That night, he mailed the signed divorce papers to me. He signed over all his assets to me, leaving himself with nothing. After found out, she confronted him. During their argument, Marcus pushed Chloe down the stairs. She lost the baby. Chloe was also left paralyzed. Marcus was sent to jail for intentional assault. I lost all interest in running the company headquarters. I sold it to Marcus's arch-rival. The sun was shining brightly. The plane slowly glided across the sky. I was sitting on the plane, 10,000 meters up, gazing down at the sea of clouds outside the window. It was truly beautiful. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any thoughts about this story, feel free to share them in the comments section. Here is Roses and Love, sharing stories about marriage and women every day. See you tomorrow.